That's what
Listen.
we're trying to have all day. Be quiet.
Okay. Yes.
This is a very serious situation. We obviously had somebody shot.
Yes.
What I need witnesses
Right
go
here.
over in front of that parking, that sign,
Right
so
over
we
there.
can get an interview
We have
with
the
you.
license plates.
Okay, we got a license plate out, and we're trying to find the vehicle.
Hey guys, how are you? I'm Sarah, that's my cat's butt, and unfortunately last night in Portland there was a shooting. So Portland has had unrest for about, 93 days, 94 days in a row, and last night by far was the most violent we have seen these, and this was violence in a way that is incredibly disturbing. So let's kind of backtrack and talk about how this started. So earlier in the day, Trump supporters planned sort of a car caravan rally type thing, and their plans were to show their support for the president and show their patriotism and to sort of drive through different areas of Portland just showing their support for the president. So this is what some of that looked like earlier in the day. Was fine and peaceful for a really long time. They met up during the day, as you can see. They drove around honking their horns. They went to what I think was, if I'm wrong, correct me, some town outside of Portland, and then their plan was to drive through Portland. And everything was fine and peaceful until they got to Portland, in which they were met with a lot of Antifa and BLM extremists who were demonstrating in the streets and waiting on the streets for the Trump supporters to drive through. So once they started getting to Portland, you had exits that were blocked by Antifa, BLM extremists. They were lining the streets. They were throwing things at the caravan, hitting their cars, cussing at them, antagonizing them, just all kinds of stuff like that. But for a while, yes, it was violent. It wasn't peaceful. You saw a few brawls in the streets with Trump supporters and Antifa, BLM extremists, but you didn't see anything outrageously violent. It was sort of just stuff like that for a long time. Well, that all changed shortly before 9 p.m. and I'll tell you exactly what happened on the video footage I saw, and all of this is online if you want to follow Andy No on Twitter. I don't want to show it right now because it's pretty graphic. Andy No on Twitter, Andy NGO, Ian Miles Chong on Twitter, Drew Hernandez, any of those people, they have the complete footage, but this is what we know from the footage so far. So from cell phone footage from people that were taken in the area, what you hear is this. Now everything's sort of calm and peaceful. Like I said, this right before 9 p.m. And I will mention that in the surrounding areas, you don't see the car caravan. So this wasn't like in the heat of the action. What was basically happening are, I believe there were a few Trump supporters that were walking around downtown. Everything's quiet and calm. It seems like just a regular night on a regular street in a regular city. They're not around where all the action is. You hear a person yelling. We got a couple of them right here, bang, bang, and then you see a body fall to the ground. People run. A few people are angry at each other. The man that was shot is a Trump supporter. He had a prayer patriot hat on, and he had a thin blue line patch on his shorts. You see the man run away who shot him, and the man also was previously seen on video footage antagonizing Trump supporters as they were driving through Portland. You see him hitting cars, things of that nature. So this person was out and was seen agitating Trump supporters, and this is also the man that is suspected to be the killer and the man that ran away from the scene. Unfortunately, the man that was shot passed away, I believe in the middle of the street or on his way to the hospital. So this is what we know so far. Now, what we talked about yesterday from Portland was Mayor Ted Wheeler. So Donald Trump, since the unrest has started in Portland, Donald Trump has been offering to send in federal agents to help with the unrest because things are becoming increasingly violent. And over again, Ted Wheeler, the mayor, has denied help from President Trump. Even as soon as 2 days ago, President Trump offered help again after National Guard was successful in Kenosha at limiting the violence and the rioting. So Donald Trump offered again in to bring help and bring reinforcements to Portland, and the mayor sent a really nasty letter to Trump in which it said, "We do not want your demagoguery and divisive politics here in our city, basically antagonizing our residents." He said, "Portland is totally fine. We don't need you." And he even signed it, "Stay away, Trump." That was 2 days ago. What has happened since? A riot was declared, not last night, but the night before in Portland. Even without the Trump supporters doing their march, a riot was declared Friday night in Portland. Protesters or demonstrators or rioters or agitators, whatever you want to call them, showed up at Ted Wheeler's condo. They had a rock concert in the middle of the street to disrupt him and everyone that lived in his building, calling for him to resign, even though he has openly said, obviously, that he's on their side, wanted him to resign. And last night, somebody was basically executed in the middle of the street. This was not an argument. This was someone that said, "Hey, we got a couple of them," and the guy was shot. This seems like an execution, but this is what we know so far. So I'm waiting for more stuff to come out. I'm not saying this to make anyone angry or to incite any more kind of violence, but this is what is actually happening. This is why we need the National Guard in these cities. This is why we need police officers to do their jobs, because you are leaving law and order in the hands of anarchists and in the hands of people that want to do harm to others. Even more disturbing than that, I'm not going to show you it in this video, but I might do another one. I want to wait till more information comes out. What's even more disturbing than that, I literally watched on Twitter a video of BLM extremists and Antifa in the streets celebrating the death of this person. They were literally celebrating and laughing and cheering, and somebody even said, we're going to dance in the streets. So these are the people that want to abolish your police. These are the people that don't think we need police, that don't think we need prisoners. These are the people that are now running the streets of Portland. So it is important to know what is happening in this city. And I checked Ted Wheeler's Twitter, radio silence. So I don't want to put too much into this because I want to see what Ted Wheeler's going to say. I want to see what happens, and hopefully this murderer gets caught. Now, what I am very much hoping out of all of this is that the media actually reports on this correctly and people start to wake up and open their eyes to what is actually going on in the streets of these cities in the United States. And that's what we know so far about this. So have a good day, you guys. Bye.